Hey there! So, what if I told you there's one English tense you're using constantly, probably every single day without even realizing it? Yep, it's called the present simple. It's kind of the backbone of how we talk about, well, everything our lives, the world around us, and all the big facts that make things work. So, let's dive in and see how it all clicks together. So, to get us started, I'm going to show you a few sentences. As you see them pop up, I want you to ask yourself, what's the one thing that connects all of them? You ready for this? Let's go.
Okay, first one, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Simple enough. This is a classic scientific fact. It's always true, no matter what. It's a fundamental rule of our world.
Okay, next we've got, she visits her grandmother every week. Now, this isn't some law of physics, but it's describing something that's just as predictable, right? It's a personal routine, a habit she does over and over again.
And finally, we have this. The train leaves at 6 p.m. This one's all about a fixed schedule, something on an official timetable. So, let's see. We've got a universal fact, a personal habit, and a set schedule. Have you cracked the code yet? What's the common thread?
Well, if you guessed that they all use the present simple tense, you nailed it. You're absolutely right. Every single one of those sentences talks about something that is either always true or happens on the regular. And that, right there, is why it's so useful. It's really our everyday tense.
So, here's the bottom line, the main thing to remember. We use the present simple for things like facts, habits, and schedules. It's our go-to tense for anything that's constant. Doesn't matter if it's a law of physics or just the way you make your coffee every morning.
Okay, so we know why we use it. Now for the fun part, how do we actually build it? And you're gonna love this because it's super straightforward. Think of it like a super simple three-step recipe. First, you grab your subject. That's who or what is doing the action. Step 2, you just add the main verb, the basic form, like play or read. And then step 3, this is the one you got to watch out for. If your subject is he, she, or it, you just tack an S or an ES onto the end of that verb. That's it. And you can see that rule playing out perfectly right here. You know, with I, you, we, and they, the verb just stays simple. I play the piano. We believe in a law. Easy. But then look at the other side. As soon as you bring in he, she, or it, that little S pops up. She reads the newspaper. The moon moves around the earth. It seems like a tiny detail, but trust me, it's absolutely crucial. Okay, let's put this into practice. It's time to look at a couple more real-world examples, just to make sure this all really sinks in.
I mean, look at this. This is the present simple doing what it does best, stating a huge, unchanging truth about our world. The sun rises in the east. It sets in the west. It's simple. It's a fact. And it's always, always true.
And here's another fantastic example, but this time it's all about a personal habit. Now I want you to zoom in on that word never. That word is a massive clue. Anytime you see words about how often something happens, words like never, always, often, sometimes, usually, it's like a big flashing sign that says, hey, use the present simple here. All right, so we've totally got a handle on making positive statements. But what if you want to say something isn't true? Or what if you need to ask a question? That's what we're tackling next. Negatives and questions. So to make a sentence negative, we need to bring in a little helper verb, the verb do. It's our go-to guy for this. For I, you, we, and they, we use do not, or more naturally, don't. And for he, she, and it, we use does not or doesn't. So a sentence like, she visits relatives flips to, she doesn't visit relatives. And did you catch that? The little S on visits just vanished. Why? Because does is already carrying it for us. It's doing all the heavy lifting. Okay, let's pause here because this is a super, super common trip up for learners. I want to really zero in on this. When you're talking about actions or even just having something, you have to use that helper verb do. So you say, I don't have fish daily. The incorrect way, I haven't fished daily, just doesn't work here. And it's the same deal with questions. It's, does Mona have breakfast? Not,
has Mona breakfast? Remember, do and does are your best friends here. They're the key.
And the good news is, asking a question follows a really logical pattern too. It's like a little checklist. First, your question word, if you have one, like what or when. Then our helper verb, do or does. Next step is the subject, you, he, whatever. And finally, the main verb. So you get when does he arrive? Just follow that order and your questions will come out perfectly every time.
Okay, and here's a cool little trick, kind of like an advanced move. You can actually use our friend do in a positive sentence. Why would you do that? For emphasis. Imagine someone says, "You don't know who took my tablet, do you?" You can fire back with, "Actually, I do know." See? It adds this punch, this layer of certainty that makes your point way stronger. Okay, up to this point, every sentence we've looked at has put the spotlight on who or what is doing the action. But what if the action is the real star of the show? What if that's what we want to focus on? Well, that's where something called the passive voice comes into play.
I mean, just think about it for a second. Sometimes you don't actually know who did something. Or maybe you just don't care. The important thing is what happened, not who did it. So how do we structure a sentence to reflect that?
This comparison lays it out perfectly. In the active voice, the focus is on the students. They're the ones doing the thing. But look what happens when we flip it to the passive. Suddenly, the homework is the hero of the sentence. The spotlight moves completely off the person doing the action and onto the thing the action is done to.
And of course, there's a simple formula for this too. You start with the object, what the action is happening to, like the emails. Then you add the right form of to be, so am, is, or are. And finally, you use the past participle of the verb. Now, the past participle, that's just the form you'd use after have, like have sent or have broken. So a sentence like someone sends the emails becomes the emails are sent. See how that works?
Whew, okay, we have covered a ton of ground here. We've talked about what the present simple is for, how to build it in the active voice, and even how to flip it around into the passive. So really, there's only one thing left to do, and that's for you to start using it.
So I want to leave you with a question. Think about your own life, your daily habits, all the things that you do every single day. Using the present simple, what's just one routine that makes your day better? Maybe your answer is, I drink a huge cup of coffee every morning, or my cat always sleeps on my feet. Whatever it is, when you say it, you're using this amazing, powerful tense to describe your own world. Thanks for digging into this with me.